Can you remember your first steps in Liferay, Portal, or Liferay DXP? Can you remember if you were, or for how long, you were confused by all the different places where you could configure this or that, where you can have a setting, where you can add content, where you can design the page, and where you can do whatever? This is the plugin for you, or for that part of you that is going to learn, or for that part of your colleagues and the users of your portal and of your platform who want to learn about the features right where they currently browse. Look at this. We have a classic homepage, which is my Audioguide development system, and if you look closely, there is one extra little icon here, which is the so-called Audioguide player. Now, if I play this, I will easily see that this narrates the current page. This is a generic description for a widget page. What you find on the top is the control menu. In the control menu on the left, you can open the control panel and the site content. And all of these contain separate pages where you can configure the backend of Liferay. You'll find all of the plumbing here. On the right of the control menu, you'll find, for example, the configure page icon, which you can use to change the layout of this page, edit some SEO properties, and many other things. Try it out. Just look at what you find there. And then with a plus button, you can find any applications, any widgets that are deployed to your current system and add them to the page. Again, open some of the sections here, and then you can either click Add to add some widget to the page, or you can drag and drop the title of that widget to the page and drop it somewhere where you think it should be. And again, this plays well with the page settings, where you can change the layout, for example, have multiple columns, or even multiple rows and multiple columns in different ways, shapes, or forms. You can also add some content to the page. That is, if you have created some content already. Now that the audio guide is done, let me show you how you can configure it. Within the custom fields of each page, you have one option to configure the matching audio guide. So this was a generic widget page. And not only do you have this, but for a content page, you have two options. You can declare an audio guide for the view and for the edit mode. So going in here, you see that there's a placeholder, a template for view or audio mode, and I can play different audio guides here as well as in the edit mode. I'll save you from this audio guide here, just to make it short, and tell you that this whole plugin has been integrated with a ControlPanel documentation. So if you know the old ControlPanel documentation that used to be, or that still is, on Marketplace, there is a change. And at the time of recording of this, it's coming up. It might not be there, or it might already be approved. Who knows? You will see. Older versions of this plugin used to have something lurking down here, which was the documentation for this page. Now you'll have this arrow here, or this set of arrows. So if I click this, I can see the current documentation toast for the plugin, or no, for this page. And I can as well get rid of it. And as you can see, there's also an audio guide here, which is not resolved by the custom fields, but by a different mechanism. That is a classic control panel documentation. And also in here, you can record your own, or you can listen to my voice for how to use this part of the configuration interface. User management in Liferay offers several options. You can maintain all of your user accounts here, together with their passwords and any other aspects of the user account. You typically want to group users in one way or another. Given more than a handful of users, you probably don't want to grant permissions individually, but to uniform groups of users. For this you have several options. You can use hierarchical groups of users called organizations, and they are found in this part of the user interface. Or you can use non-hierarchical user groups. Another way to think of maintaining user accounts is to import them from your own LDAP server, or servers, plural, to be precise. You can find the LDAP configuration in Configuration Systems Settings and Configuration Instance Settings, under the Security section in both. Either way, you can find all the users known to this instance in this list. There are rare cases where you can't see all users here, which means that they are not indexed in your search index. So somehow it got out of date. You can re-index your users from the control panel's search UI and they will appear. Now with this, let me close by showing you how this whole thing is done. I have prepared one of the scripts here, which is the User Management Audioguide, where you have a long list of commands consisting of largely highlight, a CSS selector, and the time span, when to start, when to stop in seconds. And then we can click certain elements, and then we can scroll certain elements into view, and that's about it. It's as simple as that. And by just identifying the proper CSS, which granted can be a little bit weird, as you can see here, you can easily identify every single element that you want to locate on the page, highlight it, scroll to it, or, well, talk about it and let everybody know what you are currently talking about.